Jason.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah,
All
well,
right. It has been a while. It's so good to get a chance to talk to you a couple days ago. That was
I
fantastic.
mean, yeah, well, your reaction. I admire your reaction because normally most of the people, when they see me after a while, they start with something like, "Gosh, is it still you?" I mean, is it? No, I need to tell you a joke. It was a couple of months ago. I played a solo concert, and I went on stage, and the orchestra was sitting there, and the audience they started immediately something like they start to whisper like,
Uh-huh.
and I was looking at a conductor who was in his trial, and they started after some minutes. You hear how the people from the audience start to say something like. Can you bring please the right one? It's not Mr. Guy Tuning. So I needed to play some tones, and then it was very strange for me to play under these conditions because the first couple of tones were not really, but after they heard it, they said, okay, maybe it's still him. So yeah, well, people look at me and they say, but Guy Tuning is fat. so so as you can see, some things got to change.
Yeah. So what have you been doing?
Yes.
You've been working out. You've been.
Um, well, 2000 in the end of 2010, something quite shocking happens when you lost someone that you really love, and it was quite dramatic and very tragically.
Mhm.
And the only thing that stays was the decision. You're standing there and you are almost naked.
Mhm.
So the only thing that I discovered, or my biggest help back then, was just the double bass. So I knew that I would like to play double bass in the really sad moments. This was my safe island. So you're looking left and right, and you say, okay, the only way to deal with the pain is to dive in working and to
Yeah.
make yourself positive self-shock therapy. So I just it's the brief, that's
Mhm.
this it's the sad who make me to lose a lot of weight, but then I discovered a lot of stress in this, as a performer, and I no drugs, no alcohol. So the only thing I'm doing is you need to balance when you have this stress. So sport, good eating, good sleeping, try to have a very good lifestyle. Yeah. So I think it's sports, a lot of double bass practice,
Yeah.
and yeah, yeah. Well, so it was a point in my life when everything was breaking down, and the only thing which stays was practically the bass playing,
Mhm.
and this was what saved me. So and it's changed. It's changed a lot. I lost, I think, something like 50 kilos.
Wow.
So, yeah, yeah. So
Well,
I'm
it,
now.
it makes such a difference just in the way you feel overall. I mean, just like being a performer and using your body, just that physical, the act that you do every day, just what you're putting into your body and the shape you're in. It's got to feel really different now.
It feels different, and it feels different. I'm sweating on stage. I'm
Mhm.
a person that when he goes on stage, I'm very excited and I'm sweating a lot. And when you are like 140 kilos sweating on stage, it's still different when you're sweating when you're only 80 kilos.
Mhm.
So this is one aspect. The other aspect, if I would be an opera singer, I think it would be dramatically a big change.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to use my body as it is, and I'm trying not to play or to work against the material. So if I would be a person who make wrong, well, you know that I'm really to believe in to play as natural as it is. And because of this, I was thinking, well, back then, when you have some kilos on your shoulders, it sounds maybe better, but it's not true.
Mhm.
It's not true. You don't have to be big to have a big sound or small sound, but it's a truly different feeling. I mean, you come on stage and it's live. I feel much better.
Mhm.
And it all comes in the music.
I can't believe that it's been. I was looking up when we first talked, and I think it was 2007. So that's almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. Besides the weight loss and the getting in shape, what maybe fill folks in on what have you been up to? What are some of the major things you've done in the last couple of years?
Um, you know, um, let me begin the answer to that question from the end, from
Mm-hmm.
the bottom line. Um, the brand Guy Tuneh
Mm-hmm.
is something which created through a long way of mixture of closed and open doors.
Mm-hmm.
So when you want to ask how the development of Mr. Guy Tuneh occurred in the last times, um, it's very important, if I want to be honest, and I would like to stay honest, and I need to mention it today, in our days, is the self way of development. I mean, it was I don't know if I can say that word about the F word, long way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's this curiosity. It's these things that makes me motivated to play that instruments, because we are in a job, we are in a field. For almost every second day, a door is closed, and you have to stand after it and say, "I'm doing it on. I'm going on."
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'm a product of a person who wants to try to stay very honest to himself and loyal to his way. So the development of and how it happens, um, that I opened myself a whole cake which is only for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then I tried to show what I can do. I tried to impress the people. I tried to connect with people through things that I thought interesting me. And these things are still interesting me. But the only way is that back then I had the feeling that some people maybe have not been ready for that. I mean, until today, people ask, why are you doing that things? But after they know what the story, what you have behind it and what I want to say, they say, oh no, yes, we got you now. Yeah. So a lot of things changed. It's been more extreme. I mean, if you want, I can mention some music pieces that I brought on the bass. Um, the Beethoven romances, both of them. I mean, the F major is already, someone played it, but the G major, and it's played without any transcription. I mean, I never drop any tone. It's as it's written. Villa Lobos, the cello fantasy, which is it's extreme to play it. It's be played. Mozart violin sonatas. There are some which are out there, but what else? Mahler, the four lead for songs, genau, for songs for low voice. I mean, you're on a trip. You are on a quest. And you see that the place that you feel the most at home is chamber music and solo. And this is the way how the things were developed. Because the things that interested me the most, I don't know if you can find the stage in a normal orchestra play. I have so much respect to my colleagues who play in orchestra, but I think we are playing the same instrument, but we are doing a different job.
Mm-hmm.
So I do orchestra play, but I don't feel at home there. I feel more at home when it's a chamber music, when the communication between the people are different. And this is where I am now. I'm teaching and I'm doing chamber music sessions and I'm playing solos and I'm recording. So there are a lot of things to tell. If you want, last year, this label here from Germany, they connected me and they offered me to have a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed with them for 5 years. So the last year, actually, I'm repeating everything that you can find all over the internet, which are some things that I never published. It's just there. So I decided, okay, let's make a reset. Let's take some of the old pieces like the Elgar Cello Concerto,
Yeah.
the Rococo Variations, and the Beethoven Romances, and the Paganini Caprice, and all of that things are already got recorded. We have the files, we have the music, and we are waiting for the right time. New projects are there, yeah, all the time. So a lot happens in the last time, personally and on the stage, of course.
Yeah.
But there is one thing which will never change: the philosophy of Guy too. I mean, it will stay the same, which means discover new things, try to discover what is not teachable. Don't play bass, make music. Yeah, well,
Well, it's a great philosophy, and that's something you've been imparting in your students, and you've been teaching a lot of different levels the last couple of years. It sounds like
yeah,
from
yeah.
younger players to more professional level players. What have your experiences been like as you've grown your teaching studio? What have you discovered?
Um, oh. Jason, I will answer it in a form of a question. How can you try to make someone understand something that he still doesn't know? So everybody thinks differently, and everybody feel differently, and everyone has a different lifestyle. My experience is that you have no formula to wish it. You have a person who stands in front of you, and you need to find the best way to take out of him his potential. So when a small person, I treat everybody as not a pupil, so as like a small person. Because children, it's the best is to work with children because they are like a pure paper, They are honest. Some of them are passionate, and if they are not interested in something, you get it immediately. This is like the best mirror, Yeah. And working with small children, I don't call them children, I call them small persons because they have a full personality. And how would you put love in such a level with someone who, some of them even they don't know how to move their fingers, right? But they have to develop this love to the instrument. And not only, I'm not thinking about the audition in that point. I'm thinking about to make him independent. I want that my students will become one with the instrument so that whatever they wish to do, they will be able to do it. If they want to play an orchestra, okay, they have the right technique level to do it. If they want to play solo, so it's not only the technique, it's also a lifestyle. It's a way of life. So I learned so much from what is so simple for me and for you. To play a down bow. Yeah. What for us it's so simple, for them to explain it. So, I'm learning also from my students because I'm all the time thinking about what me and you and other professional guys are doing automatically. Just a second. How can I explain it? No. How can I make it like that the small person who stands in front of me will understand it in such a way that he will be able to use it, that his personality will come out through what he's doing. Yeah. So I'm learning from the small guys. And this is amazing. If you have a little girl standing there and with her big eyes, and she wants to know, just sounds so beautiful how the bass is, swinging. Yeah? And when you have a guy who just wants to play solo, and he's coming there, and they play everything. Some people today, they are such a high level, but when you start to discuss with him, why are you doing that? Or can you explain me how this work? They don't know. So you learn from everybody. From everybody you can learn something. And I learn also about myself. Because you think, okay, maybe some people are working or thinking like me, but no, there are some people who want less. Most of them want much less. So You have to pull the brakes. But it's a very good experience. And if you think about the sentence that Leopold Mozart said, he said that a truly musician should do everything. He should compose music, he should teach, he should play orchestra, he should play chamber music, and if he can also solo. To do everything. And of course, from what I'm learning on stage, if you take a Paganini piece work and you play it on double bass, so actually you're a violin player who played on bass. Mm-hmm. So imagine with that knowledge, with that experiences, you know, to get over all the hard, difficult stuff that violin has to fight on the violin, we create it on bass and we win. Yeah. Jason, we truly win. So with this knowledge, if you begin to understand and to simplify this technique, and you succeed to bring what you learned there in the small hands of a small person, and you see the development, it's amazing. I mean, the sky is the limit. There's no limit. You know, you can teach everything that you wish, and they profit so much. So I'm in learning, and I'm a student and a teacher in the same time. And for me, the best situation is to learn from my students. Yeah. This exchange, you know.
That two-way street. It's such a valuable concept, and just even like finding a way to communicate those very simple concepts, just like you were saying, like down bow, just like how to like teach someone something like that.
How do you teach it? You know, I mean, if I you know, my eyes are all the time open, and maybe too open, but you have music session with some musicians, and I'm seeing all the time around me people that, you know, you see everything when you play. You can see if someone is smart enough. You can see if someone is passionate. You can see if someone is doing it because of love or because of the money. And I see so much people who just doing it without they understand why. It's a part of it. It's not there, and I miss it. I miss the people that you see that they do everything with love, that they really know how it should be, and that every movement is through thinking and with love. You know, that you have a concept. Mm-hmm. It's like a product that you build. I mean, you can do it like, in the end, it looks like you engineer it in your cafe pause, you know, or you see that you really love what you do. And I think it belongs to the character that we have. And this is my first aim, is to take a small person or a student and to take out of him what he has. His personality should become one with the instrument, and then he can decide what he wants to do. That they will be independent in the way of life. Soloist is not something that you are just doing. It's a way of life, you know. And chamber music, it's a way of life. And you have, if you want your students to be independent, you have to show it to them. And the best way how to survive, even if you don't have a place in orchestra, and it's to fight, to develop yourself, to look at yourself and say, can I do it? Is it okay what I'm doing? Can I present it on stage? You know, it begins in how you put your shoes. There are some people, you know, they go on stage with shorts, you know, and they play concerts like this. I mean, it's well, I experienced so much, and if just everybody would do with love and with respect, I think, and with truly this connection with what we do, really from heart.
Yeah, no, I identify with that, and I think people lose the concept of why they set out to do this in the first place.
Yes, Jason, this is the point. They expect to get something, you know. It took me years until I started really to earn money with what I'm doing. And I was never expecting, in the moment that you focused on money or you focused to get something, leave it. You are in a completely wrong profession. Imagine to stand every day early in the morning and to play the scales, and then to practice that and to practice that. When all the guys are outside and playing, soccer or
Yeah.
going to vacation, there is no vacation. The bass is part of your blood. It's part of your body, And if there was one joke that I make with one of my colleagues from Berlin Philharmonic. He said, if we will calculate all the money that we earn now as a Berlin Philharmonic member, and we calculate all the money that we should get for the time that we practiced until we became the member of that orchestra. So it's minus,
Right,
So
right.
it does, So you're not doing it for money. You're doing it because you do it because you really believe in what you do. Mm-hmm. If you're orchestra playing, if you're chamber musician, or if you're a teacher, do it 150% and don't expect to get anything back. The only thing that you can do and to tell yourself, I did from my heart, I did it good, I did the best that I can. And the best award is that you see that this person or the audience or the person who download your music connect you and say, thank you, you changed something in my life. Mm-hmm. Okay? And this is an enormous responsibility. A student give you his future in your hands, and you have to develop his ability to live from that profession later. I got so panicked in the beginning when my first student was sitting there. I forgot how to play the bass immediately because I knew, oh God, what I say now will be, it will stay in his SSD, in his brain, So. Yeah. What I do now will echo for a long time. So you start really to respect what you're doing. I mean, you just cannot do, it's okay, I don't care. You have to be so careful. You have so much power in your hands. Yeah.
It's a tremendous responsibility that you have as a teacher. I mean, I remember the first time I became aware of that with a student that was really just like passionate about playing and looking and going on and looking to a career in music. And I mean, I just made a couple suggestions. Hey, maybe look at this school. And those were the exact places he looked at. It was some offhand comment I made, and that shaped his future. And I started to really become more aware of that critical role that you have in that student's life. I mean, it's the most important relationship you can have.
Yes, but it's the same when you make recording. It's the same for me. When I think it's, I can speak only for me. Everything that I do, I try to do it that way. I mean, you are never doing something if you while you are doing something if you don't do it really from heart and with love. I mean, it's the way how you're playing bass. It's the way how you treat people. It's you said it exactly. You put it on the point. I have the feeling in the last time that we are losing it as people. The people, they don't care anymore for this kind of things. People are doing without they know why they do it. And if you really, really create something from your heart and you are fighting for it and you are giving your guts on it and you're giving your life on it, it's important to you. And if you know that you're doing a good thing, gosh, I mean, who can tell you something against it? And when your music has come from your heart, it's never wrong. But there are some people who are sitting there and criticizing and giving other people not even the possibility to show what they do. I mean, who we are, who will decide for someone else about his way. We have to make sure that we give our students the best, like they are our own children. Mm-hmm. And hopefully they will open their wings and they will fly and find their place. But I'm not a teacher who practicing with his students only for the audition. What's happening after the audition? Jason, I know people who win competitions and they have orchestra, they play in the best orchestras. And in the moment that they take a new literature or a new piece, they play it like you will not believe that these people are playing that orchestra. Because the personality is not there. We have to make sure that we are not only training our people to be, race horses, mm-hmm. Also personality. Because if you don't have the technique that you can use with your personality, so why you have the technique? Yeah. And it's a huge responsibility, but every concert is responsibility. If you play in front of 2 people or you play in front of 500 people, you're playing the same. You're giving everything, you know. And yeah, well, I try to change with myself and in my, you know, nets around me what I can do the best, and hope that, you know, it will change. And
Well, I love to see. It's so exciting to see the contributions that you've made to the literature. You know, you've had the Beethoven romances, the Paganini, and just that whole process of unearthing pieces that haven't traditionally been played on the bass, and figuring out how that must be such an exciting process to just like discover how can this work on this instrument. And
um, well, it has also a big price. I don't know why it happens, but the things that exactly did things that you now mentioned, these are the things who are motivating me to play the bass. And when we speak about, go back to the thing before about this development, you are in a certain point where you come and you say, why do I do it? And I do it because I think if I will not do these kind of things, I probably will not play the bass. It's interesting. Jason, it's so interesting. You're looking at that notes. And when I start to work on a music piece, on a work, I never know where it's going to end. The only thing I know, it comes in my blood and it makes me such it's like I say, I'm enthusiastic to do it.
yeah,
It's like my eyes are shining and I'm sitting hours and I'm looking the facts, what's about that piece, what stands behind that piece. And then you go through this phase of learning. I mean, I remember back then with the Elgar Cello Concerto, which I thought I was the first one who played it on bass. It's not really true. I was maybe the first one who played it on the same bass tuning without to change or to manipulate the bass. So the whole cadence in the beginning, I was really calculating how fat or thin the strings are that I will get the exactly color that I would like to wish. Because for me, it's about war. It's about a soldier who died and about Elgar himself who wants to know more about the war. And that soldier did not come back. When you know that fact, you would play really melancholic and you're looking for new places. And this Elgar Cello Concerto drove me to look for the right color. I don't know how to play bass, Jason. I have no idea how to play bass. I know how to play my ideas. And this takes so much energy. It's more than marriage, because when you are married to someone, you go to work, you come home, you have your quality time, but you still go on toilet alone. With the double bass, in this field, I'm even in the toilet, I'm thinking on what I'm doing. You are all the time there, and it takes so much energy and so much dedication. And you know, the most worst thing about it, you're looking left, you're looking right, and people ask you, why the hell you want to deal with that? It doesn't bring you money. Well, first, it's not true. It brings money. But nobody does. You don't need it for orchestra playing, and you also don't need it for chamber music. Well, it's wrong. Because the things that I get to learn through this kind of literature help me amazing, enormous in orchestra playing. Because you have more color and you have more ability. And in chamber music, I mean, so this process is so excitement, but it's very, very hard. You know, Professor Klaus Trumpf from Germany asked me for a couple of months, how long can you do it? As long as I love the bass, I will do it. And there all the time, you know, I'm looking for pieces who will serve my interpretation, and I need to be very careful what I say now. I never try, when I learn a piece, I never try to play it like this, that it will be the taste of the day. I'm not interested in that. I'm picking pieces which I think will serve my ideas. If you're taking the Bach, the Alemann for violin from the from the D minor partita, I have a complete story about it. We make a recording of that last year, and my sound engineer said, "Hey, guy, can I be direct?" I said, "We're working together. Please be direct." And he said something like, "It sounds like a psychological opinion on someone." And I said, "You got me."
Yeah.
So, as I said, I have the idea, and what is excited about it, Jason, everything that I learned in school doesn't help me. So a piece is there, I have the idea, I have the story, I find a piece which speaks to me, which I can stand to it, and then I go into a process as if I was written it with the composer together. So I take in his text, but I find there the signs and the motives that really make this my strong statement more clearable. And I never know where it lands, but according to that, every piece that I'm learning, I'm finding a new technique for that piece. If I play Colin Ray, it's a totally different technique, also from the point of the left hand. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different positions, it's a different fingering, it's everything different than when I'm playing Bach. And it never stops. I mean, I got lost with the Paganini Caprice, because the Paganini Caprice I played extreme high on the E, on the A string. Can you imagine? Or F sharp when it's a solo. So you have the full flageolets on the E string upstairs, close to the bridge. And this is the two strings where I begin to play the Caprice number 9 from Paganini. And it's amazing how you play flageolets and you play a stop note and flageolets. It moves all your muscles here. You have to develop a new technique. You are not playing only with the fingers, you are playing also with that kind. Every day you discover something new. And I could do it only if I had this specific freedom, and this motivate, because otherwise, why you do it? I mean, nobody likes to study all life, every day stand up, and your brains are working and you break your brain. I mean, it's sometimes I needed something like 3 months, to find the best fingering for that. Yeah. And in the end, I made the first demo, and then I heard it, and the sound engineer said, "Guy, you were diving so low, so deep in the concept of what you have in your head. Hey, Guy, you forgot that you're playing bass. It still has to sound like bass." So I will tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm getting myself crazy. Yes, it's true. But you have to love it. You have to love what you're doing. And there are some people who it's very intense. But when you stand there and you see that people show interest, and people would like to have a lesson, and you see that people try also to play that pieces. So you say, okay, there is one small more step that I achieved to make people to think new about what they do. I wish that people will never come to an automatic pilot modus. That even in orchestra, and it doesn't matter where, every day, use your heart and your head new. Ask yourself what you can do today better than you did yesterday. And because change, to stay in movement, to learn. If there is something which is standing, it's dying. It's all about swinging, there are a lot of things will come. I mean, I mentioned the Mahler 4 leads and some crossover projects, Jason, some crossover projects with some German rock stars and some international scene.
Oh, that's great.
We did DVD with Schiller, which is quite famous here. You can download it and see the DVD when we play orchestral. This unique ensemble of bass, double bass and 4 guitars, or double bass and singing and guitar and percussions. The effort is to make people more interesting, to get people more interested in bass. Because this instrument can do so much, and still they say violin sounds much more nice. Why? You know? And when you really think about it, violin did not develop in the last 300 years.
No.
Bass do, until today.
Bass is just there's so much exciting things happening in the world of bass right now. The instrument's changing. I mean, you're pushing the boundaries, and what I love is just you have such a pure artistic approach to the music and to the repertoire. I mean, it's poetry what you're saying. You know, just like this is the way that the great artists approach their craft, and never sitting still, always looking for new discoveries, diving deep into what the composer really tried to get at, discovering new colors. I mean, it's such a healthy way to approach this beautiful craft.
Yeah, and it's but you know, we have to be careful, because I'm still seeing worldwide a lot of schools and systems who are not letting you this freedom, and I think it's a pity. I mean, everybody has his talent. There are some talented people and less, and we have to give them the stage, because every talent has his own speciality. You know, I mean, one is very extremely talented technically. They play everything, and you say, "Gosh, it's fantastic!" And the other one is very good in expression. The other one is very good in music writing. So we have to give everybody the stage, and we have to come all together to be open for new ideas. You know, it doesn't matter if you play French bow or you play German bow. It doesn't matter if you sit or stand. Do it in the way that it will impress. And it will touch. And when you touch other people, look, music, for me, it's a superior way of communication. You know why? Because it works through feelings. You know, you can speak with someone and no feeling. When you hear music, oh, you are shining. So, or you're crying, you know. So I think it's, yes, it is. And I will continue to do that work to discover new things. And I'm expanding. It's when you teach and when you play chamber music, from every new tone or new sound that I discover on the bass, I immediately transfer it to the rest of the literature that I'm doing, if it's chamber music or orchestra playing. And it's growing all the time. You know, it's growing. And no compromise. Don't let anybody come down and tell you what to do. Yeah. Yes? Try to be honest and stay honest with your heart. Your inner voice know exactly what you should do. If people would like it, it's great. If not, it's also not bad. But well, you're speaking about recording, so this is part of it. Stay honest. Yeah.
Guy, this is great. I'm so glad that we get a chance to sit down and do this. We have to let it not be 10 years before we talk again.
Yeah. But you know, there is some things that we also should not forget in the days of today, when everybody come on stage and the internet is there, and you know, the wish, things are getting to be very egocentric. You know, everybody goes on stage and everybody wants to present himself, and the competition is so big. But I have sometimes the feelings that we're losing some of our morality, and we are losing some things. I mean, if you look at the CD industry and the music industry, you know, I said in a lot of occasions my opinion about CDs, you know, and about recording. And, you know, I really believe that music is to be experienced personally. There are some artists that they have this aura, you know, they have this light around them. And on stage, when you experience them live, it's much different than on a CD or DVD. Yeah. So I truly believe in live concerts. I truly believe, and I will stay in that way. I don't want to change it. This music is something intimate. For me, it's something very intimate. I open my heart and I'm sharing with you and other people my feeling. Sometimes it comes very clear to understand, sometimes not. But you are opening yourself. And, you know, and music today sounds like if you sell more than 500,000, then you're great. And if not, not. It's such a pity. Because the real artist um, you have to experience live.
Yeah.
There are so much people that I saw live, and then I see the DVD or I see the CD, and I said, gosh, live they've been totally much more powerful. So the whole industry is going to a direction when some people have to stand and say, stop, it's not only about to sell. Who said that the guy who sell 1 million copies, he has more success than the one who sell 100, but still his effect, his way of life, how it inspired other people, and it's better, So just everybody should stay honest to himself and to be brave to do that way, because we cannot change ourselves. We are what we are, and it's very important to accept it. I'm not a perfect player. I've never been a perfect player. I maybe will never be perfect player. When I'm going on stage, I'm excited, and here and there some things happen. I'm a human being, and I have to accept it. Everybody has his strong side, but there are some people who think that it has to be perfect. So the all marked, it's like it start to be so much not honest. Mm-hmm. I mean, Photoshops. I also don't like working in studio because you have to play differently, and the ability that that this computer with that program, can change your ability to play. I mean, they do today almost everything in studio. Yeah. So where is the honest? Where is the feeling about it? I truly believe to sit there to get the inspiration from the artist. It's changed your life. I can tell you from my experience. I've been 2 or 3 concerts where I went out and I was like, wow. It's like stroke, like a lightning, boom, got me. And I remember these 3 concerts much more than every CD or every time that I hear exactly the same artist on a CD, So we should not sell our soul to something that we are not standing for. We should stay honest to what we do, because if I would not stay honest, I would not be where I am today, and to stay honest, you have to fight. It's not easy nowadays. So, and all of the CD industry and the music industry, it's, if you are doing part of it, be very careful. Yeah. Be very careful not to lose yourself if you're taking part of it. And this is the real fight. Every producer tells you to do something differently, and why you're doing that, and why you're doing that. And in the end, you stand there and you say, but this is not my product anymore. It's something totally different. And if you want to sell, you have to do that. If you're in the same moment as you start to think about money, you will lose the success. You will not be able to concentrate in the music. In the moment that you will not think about the money, and you will be free, and you will take the time to be connected to yourself and to your music, and to make sure that it becomes out through your instrument, then it's in the right way. Yeah. So it's hard. It's hard.
And it's all about that live performance, like you said. I mean, that's
Jason,
the beautiful thing.
I love it. I was in the tone studio. I came there with shirts and no shoes, and I was standing there half naked, and I just played the bass, and they make the recording, and then I'm sitting, and I told myself, I need the audience. When you have, audience is there. I am personally a person that when a concert is there 2 days before, I'm getting so much adrenaline. Yeah. I'm so high, Jason. I'm excited, and I'm thinking about, everything is going to work. Yeah. Hey, you're ready. And I practice it again. And hey, this phrase, can you do it different? Oh, it's a new idea. Oh, let's try it again. You never have calm, Mm-hmm. And then when I'm on stage, I feel that my body has totally different modus, It's like, I don't know if it's flow effect. I don't know what is it, but it's different. When I'm sitting there alone in the tone studio and I'm playing, something is missing, Yeah. I mean, this to share with the people, it's totally different mode. I mean, I practice with some people, we make rehearsal and it's okay, And then we come to concert and they looked at me like, oh man, we didn't do that in a concert, you're giving more. So it's all about, look, playing in tone studio is totally different than to playing on stage. Yeah. To playing on because the microphone is there and you hear everything, and even what you don't want to hear, you hear. My sound engineer described it as, well, it's not really a nice description, but it's like You're taking a loop and you put it on a tomato, and you see plötzlich everything comes out. And it's not even not speaking about the bass playing. You have all kind of extra noises that you have to eliminate. And live concert is totally different. I love to play live. It's all about this kick and you make mistake. Okay, you make mistake. We go on.
Right.
But when they sit there, and I see with other artists that also worked with us in the last time here, come the computer program, and then they start to play with the pitch and with that and that and that. And in the end, you go to see that artist on a concert, and you say, it's not the same guy. Yeah. So I prefer someone who make one mistake on stage, and we love him because he made mistake in one point, but in the other things he gave me so much. Then a person, I prefer that on a person who comes and play perfect, no mistake. It's like it's played like it's good for competitions, but competitions are there to achieve for the market. Competition is there to see if someone can play so good and everything that you can sell him.
Yeah.
So it's good for the business. Is it good for the music? I don't know. I really don't know. I know that some amazing people never win competitions and they're playing amazing. And I know some people who win competitions, they play very good, but they never used it to change their environment to do the world a better place for musicians. So what you earn in a long way and you fight for it, you will stay there. They are coming, they win competition 1 or 2, 3, and then they are highlighted, and then they are not there anymore. They sit in orchestras, or they do something else, and then they are not there anymore. But the people who fight every day a little bit, and fight, and do, and stay long time there, they are there. What you earn in your bare hands, nobody can take from you. And unfortunately, some competitions also have to do with politics inside. This is a different thing. To give someone first prize because he's your student, even when he's playing good, I think I would do this totally differently. I would do it in a way that it would be really. How can you judge music? But if we should do it, so this is all these things who are creating a specific place in the market, but are really not good for the music netto, purely music enjoying.
Yeah. Well, like you said, it's all the live moment. That's something, this age of the internet and the recordings and all that. That's just this beautiful, timeless thing, this artistic expression in front of a live audience. You can't replace that. And the more technology advances, and like you said, you can play with the pitch, you can play with the tone. It becomes this Frankenstein. Yeah.
I was shocked. They gave me a demonstration what they can do, and I was shocked, and I was like, wait. So I said, if I would take 1 ton of the bass, I can do from 1 ton the whole piece if I sit on the computer. And they said, yes, it's true. And I ran away. I went out for a couple of hours, and they said, hey, guy, where are you going? I said, I need time. I came back, and I thought, okay, so now I don't want to go inside that kind of a place. Yeah. I want to try to make them to document exactly how it sounds here through the machine. Mm-hmm. And this is what, it's very hard to find a person who can use his computer and his equipment there, that it would be the same warm sound, the same color, sometimes the same intonation that you're trying to do, because we are not changing intonation and color only from the right hand. Jason, we do it also from the left hand. Mm-hmm. And to find a tonmeister, a good sound engineer who knows that on bass, if you compare to violin, on bass you can change the colors of the sound from the left hand. And violin, it's very hard because the bass has long strings, and they are really, between every half a tone we have something like 2-3 centimeters in a certain bend. So until that they get it. And you bring a piece like Paganini Caprice and you play the double stops, and the tone master is sitting there and say, oh, it's so much overtones. And how can we document it that it will sound clear? It's for them also, it's like to jump above their stomach, And So you are pushing everybody, you're pushing everybody at that point. And as you say, the moment of live playing, I think it's the most important thing. It's the experience. Um, yeah, well, yeah, it's a long thing. It's a long thing, and I yeah, well, but it's probably part of the game today. And I still stay, in my opinion, live concert is much better. I love it. But coming all the time, this kind of, people who put videos of me on YouTube, which I even don't know about it. And there was a time when people connecting, and still today, a lot of connection worldwide. Hey, where can we buy what people put on YouTube? And I discovered, okay, let's do it official. Let's do it in a way that people can really download it. And actually, I even don't. I would do it today differently. The things that I was recording, now I'm looking at that recording and I'm telling myself, who is that guy who's doing these funny things there with the bass? I mean, today I would do it totally differently, and I would do it. I'm looking. It's old-fashioned, guy. What you're doing, you know what I'm saying? So I will not tell you that I'm not happy with that, because I was very proud back then. But today, I was like, hey, well, it's. Can you consider again this 2 times down bow, because it's.
But that's the exciting thing, because you're an artist and you're continuing to evolve, so your interpretations evolve.
Yes, but this is why I don't believe in recordings, because it was good for that time. And if you look, we finished now to make to record this Beethoven, and I was listening to it 2 weeks after, and listening to it 1 month after, and today, which is a couple of months after, I'm telling myself, gosh, guy, you will not do it like this today. Yeah. So and in live concert, I know I gave everything, also in the studio, but I know you have this magic moment.
Yeah.
And this is how it was. It stays, and that that you can every time do something new in the recording, and you can all the time make it better, makes you more crazy, because you think, let's change it again. Yeah, because it stays, for eternity, So, you say, oh, maybe different sound, or maybe still the slur have to be different, the legato, and are you really sure that the piano got you there? Otherwise, it's this kind of things which are irritating. So I also don't like really much to hear so much my old recordery, because I say, oh gosh, you are playing me like idiot. What are you doing there? So yeah, probably, as you said. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not thinking too much about this kind of. I'm just thinking about to get better and to try to. There's so much to do, Jason. One lifetime is not enough. There's so much to do. It's.
Well, especially when you approach the art like you do, with this like open mind and very, very attuned to new ideas, and it's very exciting. It's always very inspiring to hear you talk.
Well, first, thanks. I personally don't see it in that way. So you're giving me that feedback. I'm experienced so much. And I think my best friend is my bass, because in the most hard times and difficult times, bass was there. So this is for me the best way to communicate and to say what I feel. And it's getting really hard, because you have no fundament. When I was connecting a colleague he has enormous technically, really, he's playing amazing. I'm asking him, hey, dear friend, how would you do that? And then he said, I'm not doing that. I said, but why? He said, because why you want to play these kind of things? I mean, it's this point. Why you want to do that? It's not double bass. We don't need it. And I asked him, yes, but can you please share me from your knowledge? How would you do it? Yeah. And he tried, and he said, I cannot do it. So, this kind of try to find someone who's also with you in that club, because you're looking in the literature and someone tried to do it, or some other people from the States make a special edition for bass, but you see that some notes are not there because it have to be comfortable for the bass.
Right.
And they changed the scale, and they did that, and they did, and in the end, it's very nice to you playing almost the right music, but it's not really how it was written.
Right.
So all of these things it makes you very interested, and you have to have this approach, because if it's not, this is what motivates me. You know, if I would play Dittersdorf all the time the same, what we did in my school in Germany, this is how you do it, and you have people who are playing 4 years the same Dittersdorf, and I would get crazy. I'm feeling that I'm dying, you know, inside of me. So different approach. I think think different, think new, motivate yourself. I have no motivation, Jason. If you ask me who was my preference when I'm playing music, nobody. I admire a lot of bass players, and I have a lot of respect to a lot of bass players there, because every bass player out there can do something that I cannot do. And probably I can do maybe something that the others cannot do. I don't know. But everyone there can do something that I cannot do. And I admire some people, but it's for me very hard to find inspiration. So I inspire myself. I try, you know. I built my own, I bake my own bread. You understand? I cook my own meal, and it's with music. I'm looking left and right, and I see so much people playing amazing, but I don't see anybody who makes me this feel that I would like to have. This personally, you know, maybe it's generation who lost it. People are too busy to win competitions, or too busy to show they can do something. I don't see this true love, this really, really passion. And so I try to passion myself, my own, you know. So, and this is how I motivate myself. This literature, and you are completely alone, because most of the people that I ask them, it's even, Jason, it even came to violin players. When I'm asking too much, this is also a question that I got to hear. You're asking too much. Why you want to know why Paganini actually wrote it? Because it was a homage to Bach. And I said, because if you know it, you will deal the double stops totally different. And if you play that Paganinian violin in YouTube, if you find a video, that guy from Africa played 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and the guy from Russia, Ruslan, you know, a Russian, played exactly 4 minutes and 2 minutes and 2 seconds. So everybody played the same, but it's two different people. So everybody copy everybody. And why, actually? Why? Don't you have something to say by your own? And when you have to say something by your own, you use your heart and your brain and your courage. And this is not there, you know? So I feel alone. You know, I connect some violin players, they don't even know that Paganini wrote it as homage to Bach. Or they don't even know that Bach wrote that on that piece because his wife got died, and he was actually wrote it for her. When you know that things, you're playing it totally different, you know? So the most funny thing is to discover a violin player who played piece all of his life, but he doesn't know simple fact about that piece.
No kidding.
I think it's sad, because if you're really interested in something, your curiosity will conquer you to go deep. And as long as you found more information, you can bring it more on stage. It helps you in your interpretation. But it's me, probably. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.